Hi, ThatPaulGuy. Today we're going to take a look at the new upcoming consoles that are coming out next holiday season. Not this holiday season, but next. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Or the Xbox One Series X, or Xbox, or who knows. Anyway, the news came out a couple weeks ago. They're already talking about changing the name. Who knows what's going on. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at what we do know. All right, so before we go into what the new consoles are made up of and what they look like and all that stuff and what's inside them, we first have to kind of take a step back to the original consoles. The PS4 and the Xbox One. Of course, we all know what they are. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this slide or the next slide because both of them are just kind of a review of what we're already dealing with. As you can see, the PS4 started out with a little bit slower processor, but a little bit faster GPU, and Xbox One was the opposite way. It started out with a little bit faster processor, not quite as good in the graphics area. Both of the rest of them are almost the same all the way down with everything else, except for the PS4 was VR ready. The PS4 was not backward compatible to the previous generation, but the Xbox One was. Had a rechargeable controller where the Xbox One needed batteries, and the resolution on the PS4 came native 1080p and 30 frames per second in all the games, whereas the Xbox One sometimes had to step down to 720p or 900p. The Xbox One did, however, automatically order have 4K streaming. For the Pro version and for the Xbox One X, they stepped things up a little bit. Both of them had a higher core count for the CPU, or for the frequency for the CPU, which means the instructions happen more quickly. Both of them improved the graphics, although the Xbox One X improved quite a bit more. And then both of them stepped up not only the hard drives, but both of them are now Blu-ray. You could play 4K games and stream and all that stuff. So the biggest difference here was the 12 gigabytes that the Xbox One X used for the system, where the PS4 Pro stayed with 4 gigabytes. So that made a big difference in the amount of memory you had available for 4K games, especially. See, the Xbox One X ends up being a little bit better deal here, although the price tag on both of them is still pretty expensive. On we go to the next generation. Okay, so both of them are going to have 8-core Ryzen Zen 2 processors. These are built on the new processors that have just come out, the 3000 series processors. They're going to be very, very similar. Not quite sure yet if it's going to be 8-core 16-thread or just 8-core. That hasn't been defined yet, but I would venture to guess that it's going to be an 8-core 16-thread because they want to make something for the future. Both of these are going to have 8K capable AMD Navi GPUs, and they will support hardware ray tracing. We do know that the Xbox Series X is going to have GDDR6 memory, and because now AMD is moving all to GDDR6, we're probably going to figure that DDR6 is going to be involved in their GPU for the PlayStation 5 as well. Both of them are getting solid state devices for the hard drives. You're not going to see any HDD anymore unless you plug in a USB port, but you still can get an SSD that's an external if you want to do that. But both of them will come native with a SSD or a solid state device for storage. Rumored, this is going to be at least 1 terabyte because we know that they would not step backwards. But there's been some rumors that floated around that it might be as many as 2 terabytes to start off with. That might be the sweet spot because if you go too far past that, you're going to be really, really expensive, and you're not going to be able to offer this console at a price that somebody can afford. We do know that Microsoft said there's going to be a custom NVMe, which means it will be on the motherboard itself. Haven't confirmed anything from Sony yet about their storage device. Both of these will have optical drives. They'll have the 4K Blu-ray. Even though Xbox did have an Xbox One without an optical drive, the base Series X is going to have the Blu-ray drive in it, or an optical drive in it. There is also a rumor, this is what we've got so far, but there is also possibly a rumor that there's going to be a higher model Xbox and a lower model Xbox, but we don't have any idea or no confirmation of any kind of thing like that. We do know that the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are going to step up memory. The Xbox is going to have 16 gig of memory, with 3 of it for the operating system and the other 13 for games. Not sure what the PS5 is going to offer yet. As soon as we find that out, we'll discuss that as well. PS5 has said that they're going to allow you to install your games in a different way. So if your friends want to play in multiplayer mode instead of campaign mode or something like that, you can download just that section, or you can download that first. You don't have to wait on the entire part of the game to load, or wait for a random part of the game to load, or the base, or whatever they feel is necessary, and then the part of the game that you wanted to play, you would have to wait on anyway. This you can pick and choose to only install that part or install that part first. PS5 has also said that the audio engine is going to be a really major step up, and they want it to be a huge audio experience. Microsoft hasn't confirmed either one of those so far. The Xbox also is supposed to be rumored of backward compatibility for the Xbox One and probably the Xbox 360, because there are a lot of games that you can play the 360 on the Xbox One, whereas the backward compatibility for the PS5 is only going to reach back to the PS4 games. If you remember, PS4 was not backward compatible to the PS3. Both of these are going to come out between October and November of next year, which means they'll be here right in time for the holiday season. The PS5 is rumored to be about $500. Xbox says they've learned their lesson about pricing from the last time when they put out consoles, where they were $100 more expensive than the PlayStation and got their butts whooped. They also did try to make you buy extra hardware. If anybody remembers the Kinect, they did try to make you buy a Kinect package along with that for the extra $100, but they have since learned, and now they've really take pricing into consideration. So both of these consoles I would look to see around $500, and if you add up similar PCs that have these kind of stats, you're talking somewhere around the $1,100 or $1,200 range just to get a PC with these minimum stats. So I think overall it's a pretty good deal. We're just going to have to see what happens, but there's going to be a lot of earlier adopters, we know, and then some people, they'll wait for the price to come down just a little bit, or they'll have to choose between their PS5 or their Series X. The other thing to take into account here also is Xbox, or Microsoft, is already playing with the idea of just dropping Series X from the name and going with just Xbox. So that's a look at what we do know. One thing to remark on, or one thing to kind of comment on, is currently the NVIDIA's RTX 2070 Super has the stats that are similar to what these new consoles are rumored to be having. The problem with this is that although this card will game at 4K, and it does have ray tracing, it is not 4K at 60 frames per second all the time with ray tracing on. It is definitely not 4K at 120 frames per second, and it is nowhere near 8K at 60 frames per second. So if they really are talking about what these consoles are supposed to be able to do, that might either have to be in a future upgrade, or AMD really has to make a huge stride toward their graphics solution. Whether they do this with extra memory or clock speed or what have you, who knows? But in the meantime, we do know that they are busy at work, and they have put out some pretty remarkable products lately. So we'll have to see what's going on. Again, this is, as sort of a disclaimer, this is information I have been able to find on the internet. This is information that I have tried to make sure that is available from multiple websites before I used the information. Some of the stuff that is rumored was also rumored to have been, or said to be rumored, on more than one website. Or I found it interesting and I only found it on one website. I don't think I even left anything like that in the video. So everything that I said was rumored, I found to be rumored on more than one website. So I've scoured several different tech and gaming sites. So there's a multitude of things. It is information that you will be able to find for yourself if you're looking, but I try to put it all in one, basically one screen for you and tell you all at once what we know so far. I'll probably put out a video in about 3 months or 6 months comparing what we know then to what we know now. And obviously we're going to be looking next year to find out if what is coming out actually compares to what they were talking about coming out. So I'd be kind of interested to see just how close these predictions are, or the rumors, or whatever it might be, and what gets added along the way. So that's all I got for right now. So you're welcome to share, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave me any kind of comment you want, all the good stuff. And folks, this is, like I said, just kind of an overview, just kind of a letting you know what I found out so far because I was interested in it. And hopefully you are too. Kind of leave me a comment. Are you looking at buying either one of these systems, or not even going to worry about it, or you're just concentrating on what you got this year? Anyway, that's all I got for right now. And until later this week, folks, I'll see you later.